And just like that, Wednesday is upon us. Good to see you all. Welcome back. Crypto Before Dark, not Crypto After Dark. We do this every Wednesday for 30 minutes. Welcome and glad to see you all. Carolina Keith, Professor Keith, the dumb idiot with painted fingernails because the little girl's got a hold of him again. Whatever, dude. I'm cool with all of it. And if it makes the kiddos happy, I'm gonna do it. And sorry, my dog she hasn't been doing so great the last couple of days, and she's kind of moping around and stuff. She's sitting her under my feet, and kind of trying to keep an eye on her. Got her on some medicine. She just seems a little slow, and she's not normally like that. She normally bounces off the walls. So anyhow, we're going to look at some monthly charts today. Before we do so, jump over to 786unlimited.com. Get all the information we got over in our Discord. Launch Pass is free for a month. Get over there. Consults are buy one, get one free. Get over there and get your consult if you want to learn this in a more detailed fashion and get serious about making money for the next bull run. When it gets here, jump over there, do your thing. Also, all of our YouTube videos over there. Here's what the website looks like. It's very simple to use. Not much to it at all. Jump over there and Crypto Before Dark. Hit our website and do whatever you need to do. Anyway, to the charts we go. So, I want to talk about monthly stuff. Like, I know Powell was talking and blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about, oh, we got to slow down the increase of percentage rates because I think we maybe did a little too much and we got to risk manage here. And all that's wonderful. I don't care. I don't care. It's very simple to see that this Bitcoin chart is still pointing downward. What do I mean by that? Well, obviously, we clearly have our downtrend still running. We have a bit of a falling wedge here. If you really want to get into chart patterns and stuff and say, oh gosh, are we going to break here or not? Well, so far, the answer is going to be no from me. We haven't quite finished it off just yet. Once we break out of this, then we can start talking about a bull market. How much farther is it going to go down? We've talked about this as well. It looks like 13 to 10K is fully lined up here for Bitcoin to get hit because everyone thinks that and they think they can time it perfectly. Kind of gives me pause and makes me go, okay, well, you guys are wrong. Because most people tend to be wrong. But that doesn't change the fact that I see this monthly chart getting worse. Why do I say that? Well, that red monthly candle that you see right there is very bearish. And while it feels good for a day or 3 or 5 for the price to go up and move forward to where you want it to go, back into a bull scenario, and we can all make money. Had a couple guys flipping out in the Discord just the other day because they feel like they're not being heard, or they're getting angry because they feel like they're not getting talked about when they share their bullish charts. Well, it's not that I'm not hearing you. It's that I realize that's short term, and I want to keep expectations low until we see some better signs, okay? This monthly chart looks god awful. That's going to throw another red candle if this consistently stays where it's at for the rest of the day. We have 5 more hours before the monthly chart closes on Bitcoin here. Do you really think it's going to run up all the way to what, about 19,000 today? Because if you think it's going to run to 19,000 today, that would be somewhat bullish. That still wouldn't mean that we print a green candle next month. This lines up to me to show me another red candle. In fact, a gnarly red candle. This is bearish as it comes, okay? I hate to break it to you, but it is. Same thing happened back here where you got a little bit of a scenario where things pulled over and you got this wick up and everyone got to feeling good, and then snap of a finger, right back down she came and threw a really, really bearish red candle. You had a little reversal. It felt good that you had a little reversal. Everyone got that bullish vibe again. Bam, another bearish candle right after that, and you've done nothing but bearish since then. How much longer is this going to last? That's what everyone wants to ask. How much longer, Keith? This is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have a chart for that as well. This is the Bitcoin index. It just shows everything Bitcoin's ever done. And it's on TradingView. You can find it. That white trend line that you see right there is the all-time trend line. Obviously, it failed that, back tested it, and continues to drop. We haven't had our historic retrace yet. We haven't hit about 80% retrace like we typically do. 80 to 86% makes sense. I will say that Bitcoin, as it matures along, may stop going down so far. It may get to a point where it only does a 70-ish% retrace. It's done 75 already, but it hasn't cleared back over the levels that would mean it's up and ready to reverse yet. It would have to get back over toward that trend line there to be at that level, and it just hasn't done it yet. Very simple. Until we see it happen, we don't expect anything but down. That's just the way I'm looking at this and the way I'm approaching it. The lines that I have drawn here that are the vertical lines are a bit of a historic marker each time. All right, so I've got bull market peaks here, right? I've got those lined out for you. Bull market peaks as we go along in blue. I've got bear markets all through that, followed by a halvening line in green. And we can kind of scroll back here historically, and we can see that this is pretty darn historically accurate. All the way back to 2011, right? Bull run peak, halvening, about halfway in between was midway. This one was a little faster. This was back in 2011. It happened a little faster. And about 100 days before that, you had a big capitulation. Similar situation in 2014. As things matured, you started to see more balance happen. You had a bull run peak, halvening way over here in 2016, July. Halfway in between that was midway. It's about where things shifted. All right. Before that, you had 100 days beforehand, and you capitulated farther. And this is the monthly chart, so like it looks really bad. It's really bad. After that, you had a post-midway peak in the summer after that big fall, right? The summer after the big fall. Remember that. Back in 2018, similar situation. Bull run peak, halvening back in 2020. Remember that one? We were here for it, right? All right, so here's your midway point. Before that, 100 days, heavy capitulation until that bottom came in. And then at around 100 days, things pulled out and we found our floor. That was about an 84% decrease in price from the peak, not from the bottom, from the peak. All right, so then we had our post-midway peak in that summer. Same situation, regardless of COVID or not. 2019, we had a post-midway peak in the summer like we've had every single time. And here we are now. Bull run peak, halvening, midway, and we were in between midway and that 100-day barrier where we get a few months of blah, where we get not good stuff. This happens every single cycle. And before we say, well, that can't happen, Keith, this is those dumb fractals. I would agree. I don't like fractals. In fact, I moved away from fractals specifically because of the misguidance that they gave me. What I will say is fractals do have some stance when you start looking at support, resistance, and supply and demand. And Bitcoin is a supply and demand driven asset. Whenever you have a halvening, you reduce the amount of rewards given out for mining Bitcoin, which makes what's out there more valuable, aka an increase in price. A halvening creates an increase in price. Now, they're not identically perfectly correlated. There's a lag period. There's some buying, some selling. Right now, miners are way underwater on what it costs to mine a Bitcoin versus what you're getting for the Bitcoin. So only ones who can really, really handle the stress right now are those who have so much money that they can eat the overhead. All right? That's going to come to an end eventually. When the price comes back up, you'll see more miners come on. You'll see more mining happening. The halvening will happen, and then what they did mine will increase in value exponentially. This is part of the cycle. Happens every time. There's nothing you or I can do to change it. Now, I will say that the halvening line kind of floated around a little bit because of wrapped Bitcoin and what some people say may or may not have happened with FTX, Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, etc. That being said, it only moved about a month. So I think our timelines are still relatively similar. Okay, I don't think that changed a metric crap ton or anything. So what do I see going forward? I see another month or two with this red crap. Honestly, it could drag all the way out until February. It really could. I don't think we go much past that because spring has typically been more upward or bullish than fall and winter. Fall and winter after halvenings and after the peak happens have notoriously been bad. And I don't want to say that's going to happen, but that's the way things lean. Okay. I want it to improve. I really do. We can go look at total market cap and get rid of Bitcoin and just say, oh, it's not Bitcoin, it's everything. fine. Same situation. You see that I drew on this a little bit last night, what I kind of expect to happen. We're under this 382 fib, and even though we've got a nice wick on the bottom, that's still a very bearish candle. That shows me that, you know, we may roll around here and test the bottom. Hold on a second. We may roll around here and test the bottom of this yellow line and then come right back down and make a gnarly red candle, or a few red candles that capitulate us to the areas that we're looking for. And if you're looking, that's Goblin Town. Way down there is Goblin Town. That area down there, I can't hold off anymore. I'll have to unload some money. All there is to it. I can't afford to not at that point. If you haven't done so yet, go hit like. They're free here. We have half the people have liked and half of you haven't. If you haven't done so, go subscribe. The little bell's right there. Hit the notification bell. We're getting close to 10K. 10K would be awesome. All right, so where does this leave us? Well, for the next 5 hours, it leaves us a little bit in peril. You're seeing a little bit of late month rally right here. We had a little bit of a sell-off and now a little bit of a rally back on the low time frames. If you're going to mess around on those low time frames, you're begging for it. Don't get upset when things don't work out the way you want them to, because those low time frames get washed out by the high time frame moves. You have barriers here on Bitcoin that haven't broken yet. What barriers do I speak of? This wick right here was a stop hunt, clearly. That level needs to break 17.7. That's been tough. It hasn't broken yet. It's floating around and fluctuating around like it wants to do it. Hasn't done it yet. Hasn't got up there to even test it but once, and that was directly after the big sell-off. After this big sell-off, it came back up and tested it one time. Hasn't done it again since. Another test makes sense. All right. Furthermore, all the way back up to 18,250 makes sense. Testing the bottom of this resistance, which sets up another downward move. Let's just be hypothetical for a moment, and assume that this thing comes up to 18.5. Where does that leave us on the back end? A retrace back after going up to 18.5 would point us directly toward 14,000. One of the key levels that I have highlighted here. These key levels are important. They are support levels that are way down there. We're floating in between support and resistance right now. That's just called ranging. And as long as we're ranging, that gets us nowhere fast. Sorry. I know it feels good to have the charts going up a bit because it gets you in your feelings. And I know we all want them to go up. You've got to mute those feelings. You have to mute your emotions and stick to what we see, which is the data. I'm not going to do anything until I see some big trend lines break. Where's the big trend line? Way the hell over here. It's going to take forever for that to happen, isn't it? Sorry. Now, you obviously could redraw this trend line and draw it a little tighter. And I get it. Perhaps my trend line is wrong. I'm open to being wrong. I'm wrong all the time. That's still a long way away. This thing could drive dead ass sideways until January and then fall. It could go dead ass sideways and then move up. However, I'm leaning toward down because there's more resistance than support at this level. That's very basic elementary charting right there, okay? Very basic technical analysis. You don't need any indicators to know that that shit's still going down, and until it vastly improves, it's going to go down more. That's basic price action. I talk to some people off the stream and off the Discord sometimes who just simply aren't going to join us. That's just the way it is. You got to accept that some people ain't going to hear what you got to say. And they say things that are very interesting sometimes that catches my attention, is like, I only use the chart when it's naked, aka no lines, nothing. And I'm just simply waiting on that price action to reverse. And then when that price action reverses, I will buy and I'll ride that said price action until it stops. That's it. That works. It's worked for a really, really long time. Now, some people have gotten much deeper with it, which is kind of what we do. We take it a step farther and we use our indicators to help us see levels that help remove emotions for us, right? For those guys that do it with no stuff, they'll tell you right now, and they'll laugh at you if you talk about buying Bitcoin. I got laughed at. Okay? I got laughed at when I said, you know, I'm going to be looking for a bottom here to buy crypto and get ready. And I got laughed at. He just laughed at me. And I thought, well, what a dick move. And then once he talked a little bit, and I was like, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying essentially that that downward price action isn't enough to make you want to buy. And he says, yes. That's it. No upward price action, no buy. I'm like, okay. I fully appreciate the fact that you're being unemotional about what you're telling me. Okay. I consult with people too. It's not all me out here. We have a whole team of guys. We have a whole group of people who come together to do what we do, right? And I take it from multiple people who give me information and give me data to try to find a better answer. All right. It's never about, oh, this is what Keith thinks or this is what Keith's doing. It's a collaborative effort. It really, really is. It's not just me. I hate everybody thinking that it's just me. There are some other influencers out there who are going to act like that. They know it all. And it's all me. And I know what I'm talking about because I have cool hair and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. I'm more than willing to listen to what people have to say, especially regarding charts, especially regarding what they think on technical analysis. If you come at me with talking about chains and partnerships and everything else, I'm going to shut you down. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't matter to me. I can't control it. You can't control it. You really shouldn't waste your time on it. Had a guy yesterday tell me about how much research he's done on KDA, Kadena, right? I've done so much research on Kadena chain. You don't understand, Keith. You don't understand about braided blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care. Have you seen the chart? It looks like the inside of a dog's asshole. It looks awful. Why would you buy that? Well, because, you know, blah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. And that really, really sounds mean, but I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean it in such a sense to say, come at me with some real data, not opinions. The opinions don't help us make money. They really, really don't. But that data, if you've got data, man, that changes everything. All right, let's go say hey to some people because I haven't done that yet. E. Phillips, what's up? A&J, Anthony Sutton, Letters and Digits, what's good? Goombas! What's good, brother? Silent Sandal, When Mullet's back. What's up, Mullet? Thomas Gayu, what's up, dude? Architecture, Ibjayo, what's up? First time I catch you live. I think I said that right. Ibjayo, maybe. Appreciate you and have learned so much. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've learned. Mark Cuban did a vanishing act in crypto Twitter. Remember when I called him out on your feed? Old boy had it coming for a long time. Bro, not only did he bail, he didn't give an explanation for any of it, other than the fact that he fucked up really bad and doesn't want to admit it. Be careful with people who don't admit their mistakes, okay? People are going to fuck up and not admit mistakes sometimes, and they're going to refuse to eat the crow that they deserve. Don't let those people influence your decisions because they will try to influence your decisions. Don't be the huckleberry, all right? You're finding out that Kevin O'Leary was paid a shit ton of money by FTX to not say bad things. And he ain't saying bad things, is he? Interesting. One of the biggest con men in the world, and you're defending him. No, sir, not today, not today. Not going to happen on this spot or any spot I'm near. Simple as that. I'll defend no con artists. Just the way it is. What's up, Irish mindful guy? Good to see you, bro. So let's jump around a little bit here. I get a lot of flack for talking shit about XRP. I really don't care. It is what it is. You're going to get the truth here from me, whether you like it or not. This candle has a big wick on the bottom of it that it's currently in. However, we're still ranging in the same range. Nothing has changed. As you see, nothing has changed. We're still stuck between this range and this range here. Nothing has changed. Once we pull back down, we can talk more. I'd like to see this go up, but it hasn't broken a trend. And please understand that if I'm wrong and all of this stuff flips bullish, I am more than prepared to buy. 100%. I have a whole list of coins ready. I've got videos locked up, ready to release as soon as the time's right. I'm happy to buy, especially buy spot, because it's so easy to make money. The faster I can make it, the better, honestly. Just don't think it's time yet. Okay? That's all. I still see this heading down toward 28 cents. And if it wants to hold here, great. 30 cents has been a very strong level for XRP over the years. 30 cents over the years. Not moon soon, not 589, not 10,000. 30 cents has been a great support level for years. Imagine telling people this to their face. Imagine looking at someone in their face and say, dude, 30 cents, not $589. And just watch their facial expression change as you start to see their mind change. But that doesn't happen with the internet. The internet tells everyone they're going to be rich all the time. And people believe it. Remember when before the internet happened, you had to have real scams like US Fidelis and Enron. Oh, wait, the guy who did Enron's doing FTX. Oh, shit. Yeah, anyway, still bad. Some interesting ones are SHIB. SHIB sitting right on 786. Is this the spot where SHIB reverses? Okay, could be. I've got a whole list of shotgun shitters. SHIB is on it. I'll be buying SHIB, a little bit of it, because we had one member who bought SHIB last bull run and made a metric ton of money off of SHIB coin for nothing. For nothing. So I'm going to try to do the same thing. And if I don't make a ton, that's fine. I'm not going to put a ton in it either, right? So it's going to be low risk, high reward. All the shotgun shitters that I release are going to be that way, right? They're all going to be that way. AVAX got close to the $10 mark, didn't quite hit it. I kind of like these charts kind of show me a little bit more cleanly that we're not quite done yet because it never quite got to support. Came close, but never quite got to support, never quite bounced off of it. It got close, but close is only good enough for horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear missiles. All right. So give me a little bit better here. Give me $10. And if BTC drops down to around 10K, which is fully possible, then you got this green zone down here in between roughly 6.5 to roughly $4. Gosh, AVAX that cheap is a godsend. I'll be happy to buy it down there. Really will. Especially if it wants to break trend. If it breaks trend and it's down there at that level, gonna get it. This is on the list on the video that I just released. This is on the list of one of the top 5 that I'm going to be buying and stick it on my ledger and leaving it for the entire bull run. Now, I may put some of that into a bot and let the bot buy it and sell it for me just to prove a point. And I may leave it all on the ledger. I'm leaning toward all on the ledger. And I'll just swap it over there and pay the small fees to swap it. And I may stick with some other ones the next video that I do on the bots and let the bot run it for us. And we do not pay people for bots. We have bots in our Discord. If you jump over to our Discord, you'll see that. Here's our Discord. Right here. Oh, shit, I closed it out. Whoops. There we go. Here's our Discord. We have an entire bot section down here. Here's our general bot section, right, where people talk about it. And here's the custom bots that people build in the Discord for you. They're pinned up in the pinned messages. You can go through, there you go, pinned messages, different bot setups. Ask any one of the guys in there, and they will be happy to help you out with stuff. Our Discord is free for the next month. Free. For the next month. All you do is click on the Launchpass link. It's very simple. It's down below, or it's over on 786unlimited.com. All right. So let's jump over to another. How about Algorand? Algorand is one of these that has done very little. It did a nice move up to 786 and got chopped out. How far do I expect this to go? I honestly expect another 786 out of this. If this goes down to the lower level where I got marked, let's put halfway in between it at 16 cents. 786 is $1.62. That's a 10x. Excellent. Excellent. I'll take 10x all day long. That's great. So if I buy what I think I'm going to buy, that gives me a couple 20,000-ish worth of gains off of one play. I like the way that sounds. I like the way that sounds a lot. And that's just if it gets back to Sniper's Alley. if Algorand actually does some solid moves here and wants to move back up here to round numbers like $10, boy, that makes me a ton of money. So one step at a time. This is why it's on my secondary list, not my main list, right? A lot of this stuff is based on chart setups. This monthly chart looks awful. Even though it's jumped over the trend line here, it's still trailing the trend and bouncing on top of it. Hasn't done me any good. And you could even argue that it isn't over the trend line. You could argue that the trend line actually comes out like that and that it's back under now. Either way, not great. Let's see. How about H-bar? H-bar is one everybody talks about. And I have this on my list to buy, not as a main one. And the reason is it already did pretty well last run. It's already at monthly support and throwing a nice wick, although I expect this kind of wick chase here and have some more candles close down here on this lower level. Wick chasing is common. What I mean by wick chasing is when you have a big wick like this, it takes a little bit for it to reverse. It bounces around and maybe comes back down this level and reverses here. Rather than actually breaking the buy pressure, it just kind of tails off to where the buy pressure stopped and then reverses. The same thing can happen in the other direction, okay? The thing will chase the top wick, and you'll have a couple candles trail it, and then fail. All right, it's happened a lot over time. It's a common move, especially in crypto. Look for that move all the time. What's up, Jim Monroe? H-bar here. If it just goes back to where it's at and doesn't go any lower, I believe this is one of the levels. Let's buy on this up here. Let's pull the top wick all the way down to the bottom, right about there. And 786 is 32 cents. From 4 cents to 32 cents, give me an 8.5x. I'll take it. I'll take it. Anywhere in Sniper's Alley right there is a home run. You put what I think I'm going to put on this, and that's another $20,000 or $30,000. Not bad. That's a year's salary across most of the world. I'll take it. I'll take it. So you can kind of see what I'm going for here. I'm not even shooting for huge targets. I'm shooting for lower level targets like Sniper's Alley or 786. 786 upward retrace. If this thing breaks out and goes farther than that, well, my goodness, you're talking about $1.15, $1.60, and $2.50. That's far more than the 32 cents I'm talking about. If it does it, excellent. I don't expect it. Why do I say this? Because we've seen multiple charts. Just run back to 786 and stop. If I expect 786s, then I'm not going to get my expectations too high, and I'll be prepared to cut it and run when the time comes. Speaking of that, the time has pretty much come here. We have 1 minute left. I want to thank you all for coming and watching. There's another video coming out that'll be out on Friday. The next two videos are going to be going over coins that I'll be buying for the next bull run. I'm going to have to break them down because there's so many. There'll probably be 4 or 5 or 6. And there's a lot of coins. It's a lot. Okay. It's a lot. I'm going to try to go through them pretty fast on one video because they're not going to get much money, but they're more speculative plays that could super benefit me. And I think that's important to understand as part of the bull market strategy. It's a little bit more risky, but it's worth taking a shot on, I think. So thank you all for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be live tomorrow night. Okay, tomorrow night, 11 p.m. for a whole hour going over the entire market, daily chart. We'll take all the charts everybody wants to see tomorrow. You post them up in the chat box over there on YouTube, and we'll look at whatever you want to look at. Thank you all for coming. I'll leave you with this. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. Thank you. Q&A after this over in the Discord in the events section. See y'all there. Sky's the limit. Peace.